everyone. Today I want to talk about event planning and management. Melbourne, compared to other international and Australian cities, does not have an iconic attraction or an architectural symbol to define its character as a city. Like Paris with the Eiffel Tower, Los Angeles with the Hollywood sign, or Sydney and its famous Opera House. What it has, though, is a very rich gastronomical and arts culture, as well as a growing reputation as an events destination. Parallel to my studies, I've had the opportunity of not only attending, but being involved in different events in Melbourne as a volunteer. This allowed me to correlate the theory learned in an educational environment to current professional atmospheres. Nonetheless, this also raised some questions in my understanding of planning and management of events, especially when comparing mega events with the smaller and less locally known ones. One of the questions was, what are the different approaches that should be considered and which issues arise with the different scales of events? Anne-Marie Head, in Managing Special Events in the New Era of the Triple Bottom Line, proposes linking the triple bottom line theory with the stakeholder theory. This is in order to enhance the outcomes of an event. These two theories are joined together in the triple bottom line special event primary stakeholder map. In this map, the special event organization is at the core, and it's surrounded by the stakeholders, and the interests of the stakeholders are placed within the economic, social, and environmental domains of the triple bottom line. The map highlights the commonalities between different stakeholders of special events in terms of the interests that they have in them. I found this approach really interesting, as it is a holistic one that, if used properly, can allow managers to create sustainable events that not only meet the triple bottom line of economic, social, and environmental interests, but also meet all the stakeholders' expectations. Because of this inclusive perspective, I decided to consider this theory to understand the difference between events of different scales and purposes. I volunteer in the Environmental Film Festival of Australia and also the AFL Grand Final Parade. These two events are completely different not only in terms of purpose and the visitors they attract, but also in scale and management techniques. The Environmental Film Festival of Australia is completely run by volunteers. Most of the people involved in managing the event had volunteered in previous years and were studying or had jobs related to the environment and sustainable development. Passion for the environment, which is the theme of the festival, is what brought us all together. It is also a very young festival, being only its 5th year running. However, it has already expanded to new cities, including Canberra and Hobart. And monitoring techniques to measure the success of the current marketing strategies and visitor satisfaction were already in place in the form of surveys given to the patrons. Some of the big challenges that we came across with was that after the sold-out success of opening night, the rest of the showings had lower visitation numbers, filling sometimes only 40 seats of 150 seats available. On the other hand, the AFL Final Parade brought up to 150,000 people together and was described as the biggest parade so far by the media. The parade was sponsored by Toyota, and therefore my t-shirt and hat were covered by this logo. And I had even people approach me to ask me if my role in the parade was promoting the brand, when in reality I was a parade marshal in charge of pedestrian crossing and crowd control. I also met people from across Australia that had spent over $2,000 for a single-way plane ticket. Despite the overall success, I also had to deal with major challenges, like people getting impatient with the heat and the wait, trying to push over the barriers. Another challenge was that now being a public holiday, the rest of the city became a ghost town during the duration of the event, affecting many local businesses losing money by the lack of customers and having to pay higher salaries to their employees. Going back to the triple bottom line and the stakeholders theory, the Environmental Film Festival was centered on two of the three interests, social and environmental. This is because it was run mostly by volunteers, giving away their time to meet other people with the same interests, which in this case is the environment itself. Its small-scale, non-profit background and young and underdeveloped reputation has led to a low economic interest in behalf of the government and businesses, which have made it hard to advertise and increase its revenue despite its simple but efficient techniques in market research. The AFL Parade had a big social interest on behalf of the community and an even bigger economic interest by the sponsors, media, employees, and government. However, economic interests of other local businesses and the environmental interests like crowd control are issues that need further consideration. In conclusion, I think that a holistic approach should be developed while managing and planning events, and it is important to acknowledge the different interests that each stakeholder has in order to create proper strategies to meet their needs. This doesn't mean that different theories should be used for different events in a professional environment, but that including all aspects of event planning can provide managers with the tools to create synergies between stakeholders and to develop tactics that mitigate negative impacts and promote inclusive, sustainable practices. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.